Hello, I'm going to be introducing databases to you briefly. What is a database? A database is an electronically stored systematic collection of data. It can include any type of data such as words, numbers, images, videos, and files. You can use a database management system to store and retrieve and edit your data. A database management system can manage multiple database instances. The types of databases I'll be discussing are relational databases and NoSQL databases. A relational database is organized into predefined relationships, and the data is typically stored in tables that are organized into columns and rows. This allows for data retrieval and management through the use of a structured query language, or SQL. This is best suited for data that can be organized into columns and rows and has a significant relationship between your tables. An example of a relationship is in a relationship between customer orders, inventory records, and customer information. NoSQL databases focus on storing and retrieving data without using tables. This allows for flexible storage of various data types. This is best suited for handling large volumes of unstructured data and excels when data is highly variable or when rapid scaling is required. Some examples of uses for databases are listed here. For relational databases, some examples are e-commerce platforms, banking and financial applications, and healthcare management systems. For NoSQL databases, some examples are social media platforms, real-time analytics, and mobile applications. Here are some technologies that you could use for each type of database. For a relational database, some examples are MySQL and PostgreSQL. An example for NoSQL databases is MongoDB. Some development frameworks are listed here, such as for relational, such as Identity Framework or Hibernate. And for NoSQL databases, some listed frameworks are Spring Data and Mongoose. A development framework is just a collection of tools and libraries that will help you build your application in a more effective and quick way. When you're sharing your database, you want to use a database sharing service so you can share your data with your team members who have access to the same data, and you can do it in a secure way. Some examples for relational databases are Amazon RDS and Google Cloud SQL. Some examples for NoSQL databases are Amazon MongoDB and MongoDB Atlas. All of these services have a free version with just some features locked behind a paywall. So when you're making it, just be careful that you don't activate any of the paywall features. Now I'm going to show you how to download a relational database and set up an example briefly. The relational database I'll be using is PostgreSQL. So first you want to download the installer, which you can find on their website, postgresql.org. When you open it up, you'll have the setup wizard pop up. I'll go through the steps of what you want to click. Want to pick your directory. Want to check off all the boxes and have them all on. Get another directory. This directory is where your data will be stored in the servers. You need to create a password and then select a port that isn't being used by another program. Pick your language, the things for installation. Now you want to install. After it installs, you get finished and you click Stack Builder, which you can use to download additional tools that can help you later. An additional example of an additional tool is an OBDC driver. So after you do that, you want to open it, and then you want to create your database. So you go to the select register, you click server menu, or you click add new server to start adding your database. Then you want to name your database. You see the window that's popped up. Go to connection, localhost, you put in your port name and the username. The default username for an instance is just called Postgres, as you can see right there. And then it creates your database and it's just the default instance Postgres. Or you can create your own in which you hit create and you can create your own database. And so then you can give it your own name. You can give it a password to limit people who can use it. And you can assign it different privileges based on what you want. As you can see, the privileges I just put are you can log in and you can inherit roles. And for membership, you can see what I've added. And then I can create another database. So here. So after that, you can see a setup wizard, let's see database connection. So after you've like created your database, you need to use a database client to be able to see and manage your database. So what I used is dbeaver. As you can see, I've opened dbeaver and I'm setting up my connection to the database. So I hit Postgres SQL because that's what I set up. I now include my name, my username, my password that I've already given to the database when I created it. You can see my schema and my names. You can open it and you can see your editor and you can open the SQL console. The console is what allows you to add stuff to the database. So here are some examples of creating tables. The highlighted lines are the lines that connect the two tables together. Here are some examples of insert statements that insert data into your database. And here are some queries. So here's the queries. And then here's what the table looked like before, so just so you can see what it's finding. And then here's the result that you get from your query. You can see the names in the department, which you can see the departments are from this table right here. And so that's it, briefly introducing you to how to install and giving you some quick examples. Now I'll briefly go over a NoSQL database, how to install it in a quick example. The database I'll be going over is MongoDB. So first you want to install MongoDB from their website. When you open it, here's the setup wizard. You go through all the options, agree to the license agreement, set up your Mongo. Here's the paths it'll use. You want to install MongoDB Compass because that'll help you when you're making a database. And then you install, it installs, and you finish. And after you finish installing, you can open MongoDB Compass. Here's the start-in page. You'll hit start, and this is what'll show up. You want to check in services to make sure MongoDB server is actually running. That's what this blue line is. Then you can hit add new connection. Add new connection to make sure to add a new database server. If you installed it locally, this is the link that should pop up. If it's not local, it'll be something different. So when you create a new database, it'll default have admin config and local. These help the database like when it's controlling and when you want to query and use it later. Here are some helpful terms for MongoDB. A collection is a set of similar documents. It can be kind of related to a table in a relational database. When you want to create a new database, you do that by hitting the Create New Database button. And here's an example of a database that we're going to create. So first off, you want to hit, this is what will pop up, and you want to hit Create New Database to create a new database. So here it is, and there will be our first collection, articles. And then you can create new collections. So, and this one we're adding authors, and we'll add a couple more. This won't show those. So then when when you want to add stuff into your database, you can add in files. So for instance, here I'll be adding a JSON file. So here's the contents of that file. And here's what will show up in the database after I've added it. You can do that again. So here we'll be adding another file. Here's what was in the file, and you can see it's been added. And we'll do that some other times. So here's another file, here's the contents, and you can see we're importing it, importing the collection, and there you can see it right there. We'll be adding some more files. Here's the contents. We're adding John Smith, and then you can see it's showed up. So introduction of MongoDB JSON. Here's what the contents of the file again. Here's how it'll show up in Compass. And in MongoDB Compass, you can also enter queries. So you enter a query by clicking the query field and you hit find right there. And here's what the result of the query. You can see it's popped up. So the information we've added from the database based on the query, that is right here. You can also do queries in different coding languages such as C, C++, Java, Python. So here I've done a query in Python. Here's what you would type in Python to complete the query, and here's what would pop up. So that was some quick examples. I hope this helped you a little bit to get started with databases. Thank you for listening.